Hey people, welcome back. This is J-Ro here. Okay, I guess first things first. I'm back. I took a little bit of a break, but I am back. Just had some IRL stuff to deal with, and I've also been playing a couple other games on the side. Anywho, state of things, Eidolon related. Let's see. We got the video today. I have promised it. It was the Maestro damage pushing video. This is not going to be like a flex video or anything like that. It's constantly requested, so I guess I should tackle it. So we'll get that into that in a second. I do plan on doing a Divine Knight video. I'm actually going to be working on that immediately after this. I'm going to try to pump out 3 videos in one sitting as long as time permits, and I stay awake. That will be coming next, and then I have a special video after that, and it's basically so the Divine Knight video is kind of going to be as noob friendly as I can make it, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't want it to be endgame focused. This is the super optimal Divine Knight build. I just want to, my thoughts on the class, any pointers I can think of, that kind of sort of thing. The video after that, I will be doing. Basically, it's going to be touching back on the drop rate and breakpoints. It's going to be kind of a part 2 to that video that I did earlier. Mostly because Divine Knight, for those who haven't seen it yet, has a skill which acts extremely similarly to Maestro's Gimme Gimme. For those who aren't in the know, basically, it acts like a drop rate multiplier. And because I'm going to get and have gotten many questions, and the drop rate video I did wasn't as in-depth as it could be, mostly because I didn't want it to be, and I'm kind of dreading making this next video, but we're going to get into it. But basically, I want to go more in-depth for those who care, so look forward to that coming, probably this weekend. Divine Knight video, I'm hoping within the next 2 days, so give or take. But it won't be long. I'm not going to take another huge break. I've just been quite busy. I was resampling. My account is pretty much a mess right now. I'm still fixing it. But I get to relink gods tomorrow, so whoo! Alright, anyway. For today's video, like I said, it's going to be Maestro damage pushing. As you can see, I have no gear on. I took as much bonuses off of my character as I could. This is my weaker of the 2 Maestros. On this character, I only have up to 50 skillage. So it's not going to be ridiculous skillage that's unobtainable. I kind of want that to be known. I mean, World 5 is out by now. If you can't get to 50 fishing and 50 skillage in general, I mean, the Maestro damage pushing video probably isn't where we need to start. So, as you see, I've tried to take off everything I can from this character. Its stats are still pretty high just because my alchemy, my stamps, account-wide bonuses in general are just like that. So, the point of this is you can see the starting stats, and we'll see where we can end off at. Realistically, I'm not really the person who should be making this video. I have not put as much emphasis into Maestro optimization as others have, mostly because I have 2 of them. And if you think skilling on 1 Maestro sucks, try doing it on 2. Granted, it's a little bit easier for me, but still, I'm lazy about that. So, first things first, let's go ahead and start off with stats, or talents. Talents are just going to be your best source of damage. When I'm building out my talents, I generally like starting with the furthest tab to the right. So with an elite class, I start with the elite, then I work backwards. Reason why is because if I have excess points, I like putting it into the previous tab. And I like seeing where I'm at there. So, going from left to right, coin toss. This is only pretty much helpful if you're AFK. This is an AFK damage multiplier. If you're active, it doesn't use this skill unless you're manually using it. It doesn't use it automatically. This is also useful if you're killing like E-Font or bosses in general. So you can use it. It's not insane. I wouldn't waste points into it. As far as regular build goes, unless you need the damage. Early on, you're going to need the damage, so definitely put it in there, but don't put too many. I would say like 75 or so is probably more than enough AFK damage. All right, skillage. This is going to be your largest source of multiplicative damage to your character. Um, it's going to be, no matter what, it is going to be your best source of damage on Maestro. That said, it is not the end all be all, and getting even to like 40 skillage is more than enough for general content. If you're going to end game and you're trying to push HP prayers killing crystals, yeah, sure, you're going to need to push your skillage, but you kind of signed up for that. So, and as you see, I have most of these at 160 books, so these aren't even going to be crazy books either. So we're at 18 to 38 million, and you can see it jumps up crazy. This, like I said, it is an insane amount of damage. 380% damage, so at 160. Next off, Printer Goes Burr. I like having it on both of my tabs just so I don't have to go back to town to use it. And every point it matters, so I like having it. If you have the excess points, go ahead. If not, leave it to one tab. Triple Jab is, again, AFK damage multiplier, but it helps active as well. So we're going to put points in that regardless. This doesn't do anything. This is good if not, but that's not relevant to a damage pushing guide. This is going to be good for pushing damage. You'll see it doesn't really do anything now, but when we have foods on, it helps them. So going to go ahead and push that. It's going to be good. This skill I like having on an AFK or on an active build as well. AFK active, doesn't matter. I have excess points as well. And that's pretty much everything as far as damage is concerned. This technically helps you, but it's really minimal. So if you don't have the points, don't waste it there. As far as damage is concerned, though, that is tab 3 done. I'm just going to go ahead and put the rest of the points into the skills that I like having on my regular builds. You know, it's personal preference. You do you. I like having some AFK damage just because. I like the option of putting AFK or HP prayers on. And sure, we'll get some XP multiplier. We'll leave those points. Doesn't matter. Okay, tab 2. Pretty much nothing in here gives any reasonable amounts of damage besides luck effect on damage. The base luck from Lucky Horseshoe is a good amount. A couple million here and there, but this one is much, much more, as you can see. This skill sucks. It doesn't give nearly as much percent luck as the other classes' skills, but percent luck is percent luck. You see nothing happen because I'm not wearing any clothes, but this will help your damage minimally. Again, this is pretty much helpful for AFK builds only, but, you know, put it on anyway. We got Curse of Looty Booty. That's going to hurt our damage. We aren't wanting that right now. I always put it on all of my builds. I think the minus damage is completely worth it, and it still is in World 5. I always max it. Drop rate is more important than damage. But again, it depends where you are in game, what you have access to, yada, yada, yada. You all know the drill. Okay, as far as damage is concerned, though, that is basically it in this tab. You can give yourself more star talents if you need them. Generally, Maestro won't, but, you know. Then as far as my regular builds go, definitely have rares everywhere on. Crystals in case I want to active. The skill because why not? Indiana Attack is another AFK damage multiplier. I usually pump it to like 100 or something just to give myself the option of AFKing easily. If I need more damage, I'll put it in there, but I generally don't. Breaking the Bank used to be good. It's still fine, but AFK money is just so much less than active money. So if you need money, go active. If you're an AFK only player, use this. Otherwise, meh. Same thing basically with this. This is additive to too many things, so it's not as relevant as it used to be. The rest of these skills are personal preference. If you're going to active, use Gimme Gimme. Always, it's insane. Cards galore. If you need cards, use it. Yada, yada, yada. Anyway, back to the damage stuff. That's tab 2. Tab 1. Gilded Sword, going to be your best source of damage, usually. However, there we go. However, it's not nearly as effective as skillage damage. If I had leveled Gilded Sword first, you would have seen a higher increase, and skillage would have been less of an increase. Both of those should be additive to the same pile, so the effective Gilded Sword looks less just because we added a 380 to this. Um, Basically, same thing here. Come on. The decent chunk of damage, but nothing insane. Honestly, luck's probably going to give more because of this tab's skill. From here, crit damage is good if you're... Okay, crit damage is better if you're active. This does affect your AFK damage multiplier, but it's, again, a minimal increase, and AFK damage capping is very, very easy. But if you're active, good, nice to have. Regular stats, they will increase your damage minimally because of alchemy bonuses. Basically, there are a couple bubbles that care about your movement speed, your HP, your mana, and they give you base damage based on that. Even though it's a small amount of base damage, it still helps. Same thing with these. They will minimally help your HP or your damage. Every little bit counts. As far as this tab is concerned, though, that is practically everything. You will technically get some damage from the movement speed, I believe. Let me look at that bubble. Yeah, you will get some the bonus from that, but it's very, very minimal. That this skill doesn't give enough to really put it over the edge. So, anywho, rest of this tab, I basically just max out random things. I'll give myself some that, and just put the rest in here. Tab isn't that important, and it kind of depends on how many skill points you have and all that jazz. For star talents, Will of the Eldest will help. You'll get luck off of it. Beginner best class will help. You get, it depends up to your level. AFK attacks on Simmer helps your AFK damage. Always good to have. Quest Chungus, very strong. You can see how much damage it gives because it is, again, luck. Any sources of luck with this skill is insane. This skill is underrated, but as you get more luck, it's more and more powerful. So, Crystals for Days, don't forget to put that on if you're active. Frothy Mulk, not going to do anything right now, but when we add food, it will do something, so that's good damage. Dungeonic damage, another source of percent damage, good to have. Crit, again, crit's always good. It will help, so go ahead and put that on. And then, again, HP helps your damage very slightly, and Mega Crit helps, again, your damage. So that is basically where you're at with those. That is everything basically that helps talent-wise. As long as I'm not missing anything, but I shouldn't be. So, you see we went from, what was the start, 30-something mil to 268 mil. Pretty good increase. We can keep pushing that. Let's go ahead into it. So, right now I've been using Royal Turban. This is not going to be best in slot armor, by the way. I'm just going to show you, like, basic, like, I could go put Dreadlow on. I could go put, you know, bullets and midnight cookies or the World 5 bullets. I'm not going to do that because it's kind of redundant and it's not realistic towards like a realistic build. Most people are going to have Kizor. Most people are going to have Troll, maybe. I mean, honestly, most people are going to have probably less than Kizor. Anything requiring salts is going to be kind of a time gate for most accounts. This isn't, oh, look how much damage I can flex. I want to just show you guys each source. Like, I mean, people aren't going to think tools do a lot, but tools just added 4 mil damage or 3 mil damage. You know, that's the point of this video. It's to show basically, I mean, it's a 15, 20-minute long video of saying, hey, put luck on your Maestro. Anywho, so if you're wondering why a certain piece of gear I'm using, it's just because that was what was on this character. You don't need to min-max damage that insanely, and if you do, you shouldn't be using like bullets and stuff like that because it's inefficient, generally, unless you have a specific reason to. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and put some tools on, and you can see you get a sizable chunk of. Oh, no problem. That's nice. You featured the new one. So you can see the damage is going up just because of the luck rolls I have on these things. anything with luck on it, like it just helps. Like 28 luck here is giving me 3 mil damage. My skill bars were awful, and now I heck yeah. All right, sorry. Back to the video. Okay, so weapon going to be your biggest increase as far as equipment is concerned. Always, boom, huge, massive, massive increase. Opals as well going to be a pretty big investment. I know opals suck. Dungeons, they are what they are. I do highly recommend at least getting a couple opals, just rushing out the happy hours. Very worth it. You can see just how much luck an opal adds. It's so hard to compete with this ring. Highly, highly recommended. So, gonna go ahead and put the weapon on, and go ahead and put the opal on, and you can just see so before the weapon, the opal is adding roughly 20 mil damage. After the weapon, opal's adding slightly more than 20 mil. That is because of the nonlinear scaling on luck the damage that luck contributes. The more luck you get, the more it benefits you. It snowballs, whatever you want to call it. So, granted, it's downscaled, but it's going to be better in the long term. So you'll see, Kizar Scarf going to be your best source of damage generally. You're going to want to put luck rolls on it as well. Same thing with all your gear. I mean, I feel like I'm belaboring the point, but I use Royal Turban right now because it helps with Golden Hampters. You could put a Dreadlow helm on if you really need the damage. Highly recommend Royal Turbans though. Excuse me. Where? Oh, and Skull. Yes. I have a Dreadlow net that I can't put on yet because I do not have a high enough catching. Premium gear. It helps. You can see it obviously helps. That's just gonna have luck rolls on this. 26 luck. Hard to ignore that. Don't worry about it too much though. It's not gonna make or break me doing things. Same thing with, any pair of wings is gonna be sufficient. This one, I believe, will add the most damage for Maestro, though Troll Wings, it's between that and Troll Wings. Keychains, I actually didn't have any keychains on this character right now, but put whatever keychains you want. You guys know what to do. The percent luck keychains are going to be best for Maestro, but put the percent stat on whatever character that you're trying to push. I don't want this video to be specifically only Maestro focused, but that is the one I get requested the most. The reason for the turban. So we have a 30.1 with it, the 28.8 without it. Sailing might have gotten slightly more tedious, and by that I mean worse, but it still helps. It's like not strictly better, but it's worth the head slot. Put some food on, so it's easier to AFK. Now, I will do this just to show you guys the difference between some of these foods, because not all foods are made equal. For Maestro specifically, generally these base damage potions are going to be some of your strongest sources of damage. You could see just how much more relevant it is than weapon power. These ones are pretty big, but this is the only class where this base damage actually beats the Frost Bullet. All my other characters get more damage from this. Movement speed, actually way more relevant than you think it is. I bet you didn't think I was going to jump that much damage. That's more than an opal was giving me, just because of the movement speed. So, definitely well worth it. You'll also notice my accuracy is jumping. The reason for this is because I'm going over the 175% threshold, or 200% threshold here, if you're curious. I bet someone's looking at that and going, what the hell is going on? That's why. You'll see it does it there too as well. But yeah, movement speed, very good. The alchemy bubble, again, is a decent source of base damage that people definitely neglect, but it's doing more than a gold bullet. So, but again, base damage is going to beat them usually. Actually, wow, that's kind of crazy. I'm surprised decent speed pot actually wins there. So yeah, speed potions, strength potions, the whole 9 yards, put those on, very good. What else we got? So that is gear and food. This is literally just what I was randomly wearing, and that's the point. You can get really high damage. I went from 38 mil to 521 just with what I'm wearing. Yes, granted, my stats are generally going to be higher, and the higher your stats are, the more the number's going to balloon out of control. But I want that to be a show of how much talents matter and which talents matter and how much gear matters. Because I could take this off and you see it's giving me way more than that 20 mil was before. It's giving me almost 40 mil now. That showcases just how much more powerful the stuff, like stacking all this stuff is. Okay, let's not belabor a point. Cards. I'm just going to quickly go through all the damage cards, and they are all insane. Uh, Cards is generally in a separate multiplier of percent damage, different from other sources. Again, all sources of percent damage are not made equal. So we go from 521 to suddenly 661, and so on and so forth. I can put all the damage on. Sure, we will, just to show you guys the cards that I would use generally. 954. Card set. If you want damage, you're going to be using bosses and nightmares. Generally, I recommend Smoldering Plateau if you're AFK, though. One bill. The 1063. This one's going to add a lot. Yep, 1125. I'm probably forgetting cards in here. I think the Amaranth card is actually pretty good, though. Let me see. Less fantastic than I thought it was. Even Choco Box is going to help a decent chunk. And I mean, there's so many cards. I don't actually want to go through all of these because it's too redundant. It's the best cards is going to depend on too many factors to really be useful. But like 35 luck here is going to give me an insane amount. It just depends. That's not the point of this video, though. So 641, star signs, another separate multi generally. I have none on right now. The star signs that you're going to be looking for is total damage, and total damage. This one being the most powerful, 641. Boom. You can also swap star signs from Quick Ref now. Fun fact. 738. 811. Even this one, 841. So that's what you're going to want for damage. If you need the damage, there are sources of it. There's so many sources of it now. So, I haven't even moved yet. Let's go ahead and walk around. I made it a point to take off all my personal obols. Obols are another place you can get some damage from. For Maestro specifically, luck obols will give you the best results for damage, but in general, I recommend pop obols. As far as other bonuses go, make sure to just be spending your post office boxes, etc., etc. For prayers, Beefy for real, you can unlock this at wave 121 Frosty Firefight. That is actually pretty easily unlockable nowadays if you have the Atom Collider and a couple higher leveled Wizard Towers. I should go do that. For World 4, the damaging foods, onion, fig, let's see, turkey, octopus, octoplop, onion, massive fig, and I think that's everything. Yeah, I don't think any of these were added. Yep. Cool. Level those. Very high source of damage, as you saw. I basically started completely butt naked with 38 mil, and a majority of that was due to lab and other things. Green stack bonuses. Huge. Can't stress this enough. Majority of the reason my damage is so high is because of that. 641 to 11. It can't be understated. Green stacks are huge. Massive, massive, massive bonus. This one as well, but less so. Chips. Again, chips are another source of damage. For damage, you're generally going to want to be doubling your star signs, your cards, your trophy if you're on Bowman. The other classes don't really get a very impactful trophy towards damage besides King of Food. And King of Food, while good, generally not worth the chip slot. We're at 641. Poker chip, huge. You can see that 569, even if I don't have a weapon on, it still gives me a small amount just because there are other sources of base damage or weapon power that it's giving. But it does benefit most from your weapon. 641, but even the weapon power sucks on Maestro, you can see it still helps a lot there as far as chips are concerned. Um, but yeah, doubling cards, doubling star sign, doubling keychain if you have a good keychain, doubling pendant for the Kizar pendant helps a bit. It's usually not that insane. Damage chips, generally not that great. I actually think Maestro is one of the ones that benefit from the most. But you can see it's like a smallish increase for a whole chip slot. But as far as damage goes, those will be your go-tos. So that's pretty much everything from World 4 and World 5. World 5, there really isn't anything that you can, I guess, equip. World 5, a lot of your damage is going to be coming from these artifacts, which I do not have them all yet, but I'm getting there. Biggest one's going to be your Rubel Cube, and I think the build rate one, probably, as far as Maestro is concerned. So if you need damage, go target those down. Gods. Honestly, none of the gods really give too much damage. I currently have Nubisect on because of a misclick. Very annoyed by that. This 100% damage really is not 100% damage. It's like 20 mil maybe. It's pretty bad. I'm not entirely sure what that's additive to, but it sucks. The other things you can do is pushing alchemy. I didn't touch on it before, but obviously increasing your stats through alchemy, very good. Push this bubble, push a lot of bubbles. There's so many World 5 bubbles in as well. You get this one and this one for Maestro. You get this one. No. This one for Maestro. And then this one for Maestro. Yeah. So multiple bubbles help the Maestro out here. It's kind of a trifecta of all of them to basically boost their damage up a lot, which helps a lot. And I will say, even if you're using a spear, like the basic spear, this will not help your Maestro. Only this bubble will affect your Maestros. Fun fact. As far as other things go, Big P will help as well. Let's go ahead and put that on. If you have the Nubisect God, this character. Oh, I think I need to. Maybe. That's odd. It should help. Never mind. Scratch that. That's weird. Oh, I'm putting on the wrong character. That's why it's not helping. Because I'm dumb. 671. See, there we go. Yeah. So that'll help if you have Nubisect on. It's a decent chunk of damage, I guess. Again, I'm kind of just going through the process. I'd like if I needed damage, or honestly, this is the way I approach the game in general. If I need to do something or I need to push something, I basically just go through every single source and see what I can and can't reasonably, increase. You'll see I'm wearing Kizor armor. I'm wearing a turban. I don't even have a catching slot on. Obviously, my alchemy is doing a lot of the legwork here, but I believe in you all. You guys can definitely get your damage up. And I hope this video does help. Some other helpful tools, websites / whatever. It is eidoloninsight.com. I will try to. I'll have that in the description below. The link to that. You can go to that website and literally just type in damage, and it will just show you all of the different sources of damage. You can also just type in luck, and it'll show you a ton of the sources of luck. Or, well, actually, for that one, I think it's a little weird. I think you could go stats. I think that's what you want to put in, like a percent stats or something. You can mess around with that website and it will show you a ton of different things and help you go through the list that I've done basically. Again, like I said, this video isn't going to be listing literally every source of damage in the game because we will be here for hours and this video is already running longer than I wanted it to. I just want to show the process. That's the more important thing. Last tidbits, things to take away before I head off and then start working on the Divine Knight video, which I'm assuming a lot of people are waiting on. For Maestro specifically, percent damage from stats, or from talents, very strong. Do not neglect your percent damage from talents. The more levels you get into skillage after a certain point, it drops off, but skillage can't be understated. It is important. I don't want to say it's not. It's just I can still get high damage with low skillage. It's possible, but don't throw away that bonus just because you don't want to do it or whatever. But yeah, that's my spiel on that. Gear. Can't stress enough how good the gear is. Make sure you have the best you can afford if you are struggling. I could go put better gear on this character if I was hurting for damage. I don't need to, but that's an option. Opals, I hate to say it, but man, they're really good. It's just they add a lot. It's hard to undersell opals, so get together, get with your friends, do some happy hours, go on the main Discord, look for a party. It helps a ton, and with happy hours, it will get you there. Foods, can't understate. This one speed potion is adding almost as much as an opal. That is massive. Again, my alchemy is a large majority of the reason for that. But, don't underestimate my alchemy and statues. But yeah, don't underestimate just putting potions on your characters. Put food on your characters. It'll help. And then yeah, just go through world by world and just think about what bonuses are in the game. Anything that says damage, you can use the wiki, you can use whatever else other resources. Shoot me a message. I will always try to respond to them. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that was fairly comprehensive. Like I said, I am trying to make it quicker than, 4 hours and going through every single damage bonus in the game. And I also wasn't trying to put the literal best in the best slots, like best of the best in slot to show off, hey, look at my 2 bill damage or whatever. It's whatever. I don't care that much. I just want this to help you guys. So also, if only these numbers were reversed. Anywho, I hope everyone has a good day, except Miguel. Hopefully this helped. I'm going to go now fix the rest of my account because I just finished sampling. And it has been a nightmare trying to fix all the stuff that I did. But at least this talent build is good now. So, all right. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.